John Davis, absolutely one of the best.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis doing what true crimers do.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis.
John Davis True Crime.
Mr. John Davis. John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime.
This guy John Davis.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime. Maybe that's where I've heard that name before.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis, and it's good to see you, John. How are you?
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True.
Hey, John Davis.
John Davis.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime kicks butt.
Tune in and watch John Davis True Crime. You will love it. It's one of the best channels on YouTube. Tune in. It's John Davis True Crime.
Welcome, everybody. April 10th, 2024 to the John Davis True Crime in the Morning Show. Who all we got in the audience this morning? How is everybody? Liplock no more. Good morning. Liplock's one of them that gets to work by 10 minutes early, sits in the break room, has her coffee, gets ready. So I used to roll. Good morning, John Davis and everyone. Bob G, how you doing? Act Right People, Cats Hodgepodgery, Gene Jackson, all my peeps. Glad to see y'all this morning. Hey, miss a day, miss a lot, man. Lots happened since last time I've seen you folks. And we're going to get straight into it. Oh, we can't have that cat action. Oh my God. I really have to take care of that. Our neighbor's cat's frisky. Let's just say that. This is the wildest thing. When I seen this yesterday, I was like, what? This can't be right. And yep, it was right. So what this is about is Elijah Vu. Y'all remember him, little boy, mom and the boyfriend are in jail right now for abuse charges over Elijah. This is the dude, Jesse Vang, the man who said Elijah... he was going to teach Elijah how to be a man. A toddler. He was going to teach him how to be a man, how to respect him and all that. Well, there hadn't been much out in a while about Elijah. They've been doing, they're still searching, but there hadn't been a lot of information out. But the weirdest thing happened yesterday. When they released where they were going to be searching at, and happened to be at a junkyard. For some reason, they don't act like it's a tip that got them there. It was just, they act like it was checking off a box, right? But if you notice the junkyard, it's Avery's is the name across the billboard there. Is that familiar to any of you? Avery's Junkyard. Does that bring up any memories for anybody? Does that spark anything in you? Now, if you've already seen the story, it's not fair. But if you know what I'm talking about just from this, is that not mind-boggling where they're searching? And for those of y'all that's been like, I don't know, Avery's Junkyard, don't ring a bell. What I'm talking about is the Netflix's biggest production ever, Making a Murderer. The story of Stephen Avery. And the big long tale of how he was convicted and he was innocent, and then he got out and he really committed a murder and all this. That's where it's from. Somehow, the search for little Elijah Vu ended up at his junkyard, his family-owned junkyard. And by the way, it seemed to me, from what I've seen, they still own it. The family still owns the junkyard, and that's the junkyard where they found his victim many years ago. Is that not the oddest thing? Am I the only one that finds that super odd? Let's read the headline here. The search for missing 3-year-old Elijah Vu took volunteers to a salvage yard connected to another high-profile case in Wisconsin. On Monday, dozens of volunteers searched the Avery salvage yard in Manitowoc. The yard became well known in 2005 when the remains of Teresa Hallback were found there and Stephen Avery was later arrested. Searchers said there's no evidence to link Elijah to the property and the search was not based on new information. There's always that dark side that makes you fear the worst, said Nicole Rivera. I pray that he's okay and he's alive and hopefully he will be found alive. Just a couple of excerpts from what they said they were there. But they're saying no evidence to link Elijah to the property and the search was not based on new information. So, I don't get that. Is it just a shot in the damn dark they took? That's awful wild if it is. They're acting like, but they said it wasn't something based on new information. They didn't say it couldn't have been something based on something they heard a while back and they finally decided, well, maybe we should check it out. I don't know. It's odd, ain't it? Am I the only one finds that just extremely odd? I mean, out of nowhere, they searched the junkyard for Elijah, and it happens to be the junkyard of Stephen Avery, Stephen Avery's kinfolk. Let's call it that. I was blown away by it, man. I was like, that's so odd. You're not going to convince me you're searching junkyards and there's nothing, no reasoning behind that? Just, nah. They've heard something. I don't know what. Did you get a haircut? Nope. Still haven't cut my hair. I'm starting to feel like Hercules now. My strength's in my hair. Can't cut it. But I don't know, man. Seems weird to me. Stephen Avery, the Stephen Avery, just randomly searched Avery's. Nah. That's what I'm saying, man. I ain't buying that. Are y'all? I'm eager to see how this is going to play out with Vang and can't remember his mom's name now. I want to say Katrina Bauer, but I couldn't swear that. They're still in jail over Elijah right now. There's a Jesse Vang, man. Ain't that? Could you imagine how terrified a little boy would be of that bully right there, screaming at him and all kinds of shit? And it's hard to tell what all he did to him because you know what he admitted to. So if he's admitting to that, you know, you can imagine what other kind of shit that they did. I'm just glad they're searching and it's making the news and stuff. That puts more pressure on it, I think. I think the biggest thing about anything that happens that puts it out there in the community is a good thing. I'm not dying. I'm not buying though. They just randomly decided they're going to search Avery's. He is a real monster. Yes, he is, Plant DV. You got that right. Katrina, yeah, I think it's Katrina Bauer is what I want to say. Is that right? If not, y'all know who I'm talking about. I think I got a picture of her too from her little appearance. Yeah, there she is. I'd hate to be a lawyer for somebody like that. See, that's where, it'd be so hard to be sitting there beside somebody, knowing that little boy's missing and not just reaching over, strangling them, asking them to tell me where that kid is. It'd be hard to be a lawyer and be around that, wouldn't it? You think it would change you? I tell you, like defense lawyers, to hear them talk, they're a different kind of breed of person to me. They just somehow can completely overlook how horrible a person is and the horrible shit they've done and not judge them. They're better than I am. I can't. I just can't be like that. Seems to me that they would have probably caused the search there. That's what I'm saying. They said, though, that the Averys give them permission to search. They didn't act like they had to have a warrant or anything. I mean, it just seems odd to me, knowing the details of Elijah's case and, the fact that how it went down. I don't see Avery's junkyard playing into it. I think what happened was that last day, something happened. A punishment went too far, or maybe it was, something that happened over days and something happened and they did something with him. Oh, I got to sneeze. Yeah. Oh, that was awful. That dude scares me to death, though, man. He is a horrible looking cat. To be a 3-year-old looking at him, man. Dude kind of would worry me being in the room. I couldn't imagine what it would do to a little 3-year-old boy. And, this ain't dad. This is mom's pal. This ain't dad. This is mom's pal screaming at me and making me stand for who knows how long, hours on end. That's who that is. Thank you, Lisa. Ugh, that was rough. Oh, and I don't know if y'all heard this. I just heard this when I got up. I didn't even have time to get a picture, but they found Dylan Rounds. Did y'all know that? That just happened. That and I think it's that dude that was like the hand is it's that case been so long ago. It's that Jim Brenner, I think's his name. I think he was like a hand on the property or something. I think he led him to it. So, that's good news for Dylan's family. I thought that was mind-boggling news. And that goes to show you, man, out of nowhere, that's why all these ones that are open, I just always have hope because stuff like this happens, man. You never know. Yes, just heard this morning, why on earth did it take so long? His poor mom. I'm wondering, Jim Brenner told them where a deal. Yeah. He was obviously getting something out of it. I'm sure he didn't just do it because he's a great guy. So, but I tell you what, if I was in the parent situation, it was my son, he was missing. I to have closure, I would be willing to make a deal too, and to have my son's remains. So it sucks that you have to do that kind of stuff. It really does. And I don't think anybody wants to let anybody off easier than they should. But, at least he did one thing right. He showed him where the body was. And a lot of them don't do that, So it is a positive in my opinion, the outcome anyway. Because, I can't imagine how it would be to have somebody real close to me missing. But to go on with that forever seems like just a torture to me. Because even if everybody thought, they were gone, they had passed, a parent's always going to have that hope in them somewhere, that their kid's still alive. I think it would just be torture not knowing, though. It would be worse than finding out, for sure. Dylan's phone had a video on it, him cleaning his pew-pew in a bloody shirt, I think. Just peeves you off after all this time. He knew I would be, I don't know what I would be, and hope I never find out. Yeah. It would be horrible, but I still say never knowing. I couldn't imagine. Imagine like you're not an older parent, you're a younger parent in your early 20s, and your kid goes missing. Living with that for 40 years of never knowing, and that happens. It happens. So anytime somebody that's been missing for any extended period of time is found, it's a good thing. It really is. Like, that had been 2 years ago since he went missing. I didn't realize it. Well, I am right at 2 years. It, and then out of nowhere, bam, he's found. That's why you never know with a lot of these, man. And who knows? It seems like stuff happens in patterns to me, or not patterns, but like numbers. Like, seems like when one's found, boom, boom, a couple more might pop off. I'm hoping it's one of these things where it's a cluster of cases solved. It happens. This could be a chain reaction. Never knowing has to be the worst thing as a parent. Exactly. And I think, when it comes to that, the parent should have just as much say in these deals they make with people as the law does. Because, let's face it, what's the law got to lose? They lost the case. The parents lost a child. They lost their child. They should be able to determine steps. I almost think I would agree to about anything to find out the truth. And I think they should have that option, I don't know. I just think, I just keep going back to how much of a torture it'd be to go your whole life not knowing something. And poor them, is they had to go a lot longer than, anybody should have to. But I'm guessing he got some kind of sweetheart deal, or it made his situation better. I'm guaranteeing you he come out of it in the better for showing. But Dylan being found, that's big, because that was kind of out of nowhere. I hadn't heard much on his case in quite a while. I didn't know there was a lot of movement, really. So that comes out of nowhere. And that's a good thing. One less, The Elijah thing, I don't know, man. I'm still up in the air on what that's really about. I come across a new one, though, that I'm going to share with y'all if y'all haven't seen. I'm sure a lot of you have, but here's this kid's been missing, and this is the weirdest story ever. Caleb Harris. This young man went missing from right outside his front door, waiting on Uber Eats. Just disappeared. His name's Caleb Harris. Here's a map of the area where the dot is right where he lives, right around that area, and he lived that close to the water. That's a bad thing. I hate when there's big bodies of water nearby and somebody goes missing. But I don't think, it just does, it makes no sense. He disappeared on March 4th. So it's been almost about a month and a week. The last thing was at 12:56 a.m. This is the timeline, kind of what happened. He had been, hold on, I thought I had another piece. It says, give me a second. Hold on, here it is. Crap. Anyway, they said all day Sunday he hadn't really, it was just kind of a normal day hanging out with his buddy playing with the ball. But this is the timeline. At 12:56 a.m., a doorbell camera at a nearby apartment captures Caleb, his roommates, and his friend playing with the roommate's puppy in the parking lot of his off-campus apartment complex. All three young men, hold on. Return to the apartment, and the friend leaves shortly after. So the deal was he lives with his buddy, right? They're roommates. There was a third guy there. He left. That was at 12:56 a.m. on Sunday, March 4th. I'm assuming that, I think that's going to be the last time he's on video. At 2:20 a.m., one of Caleb's roommates tells him he is going to bed. Caleb lets him know he's going to stay up and order snacks for his lunch later that day. This is at 2:20 a.m. 2:44 a.m., Caleb shares a Snapchat video with his younger sister showing him walking the puppy to what appears to be the apartment complex parking lot. Now, they had just gotten a puppy, him and his buddy. His dad was talking about, and his dad's like, it was just like their dog, for the apartment. They wanted a pet. And they had just gotten this puppy. At 3:03 a.m., Caleb sent a Snapchat photo to one of his friends living in San Antonio showing what appeared to be a small bridge over a drainage ditch on the 1900 block of Ennis Jocelyn, a few hundred feet from the entrance of the apartment complex. I wonder if that was on that map. We'll check that in a minute. But it was, they say it was like a weird picture. And that's what it said was. Appeared to be a small bridge over a drainage ditch. That was at 3:03 a.m. At 3:12, a cell phone tower picks up Caleb's cell phone last shared location. The Uber driver at 3:20 a.m. The Uber driver delivers Caleb's order and leaves it outside near the front door per his request. The next thing that happens, 11 a.m., one of Caleb's roommates discovers the Uber Eats order outside the front door. He noticed Caleb's pickup truck is parked right out front, and Caleb's wallet and keys are left behind. His roommates start to look for Caleb and call the police to report him missing. Have y'all heard that story before? Yeah, I'm sure some of you have. So wild. Just gone. Order Uber Eats. You're waiting on your Uber Eats and gone. And the puppy was in the house. They found the puppy. The puppy was in the apartment. I think he got snatched up in someone's car that fast. Man. I don't know. So odd. So odd. You know, it's like, what could happen to you? That seems like a really weird situation to come up missing. I could see about it just seems like such a safe thing sitting outside your doorway as a young man waiting on your Uber Eats, and then you're gone. And it's like, from what I'm gathering, I haven't seen a ton on it, but they don't seem to have a great idea at the moment. Caleb is one of 6 men missing in the area. Is that right? Do you think Caleb was going to hook up with someone? I don't, man. I feel like if he's ordering food, he's getting his food. You don't order your food and then just, because you've paid for it. Something happened to where he couldn't be there to get his food. Now, what? I don't know. But it damn sure doesn't seem anything he would have chose. I don't know. And the roommate and friend were cleared. Hate using that word, but all these young people going missing. What the hell is going on? Seems like every week there's a new case. That one's been going on a while. It's almost been going on as long as Sebastian. Almost. It's like 2 weeks difference, I think, but his has been going on a long time. That one has too, and I'd heard about it once, I think, but when I checked into it, I was like, that is just such an odd thing. That's why I gotta say, I do not see I do not feel he voluntarily left. I don't. You don't order food and then leave. And I mean, this was late too, at like 3 a.m. Didn't take his wallet and his keys with him. It's like he stepped out to grab his food. Thought it was, I guess he assumed, you would think it had to happen right there before the food got there. I don't know. And the picture's weird too. And I haven't actually seen the picture they're talking about that he posted or sent or whatever thing. The last picture, they're talking about the little bridge going over like a drainage ditch. But I wonder if that was him. That might not even been him, Another one, just poof. This one's the strangest one, though, man. This is like does anybody know how old he was? I can't remember now, but he's over 18. That's what's so odd. Just poof, gone. There was a traffic accident that Caleb seen on the road by the last picture. I seen video of the traffic accident. Really? Maybe it was a hookup and, turned out to be a monster. I mean, is there a reason we're going to the hookup thing? I mean, I don't know. To me, it seems like he just disappeared waiting on his food. Is he 19, 21? I forget. Young? Yeah. I'm just saying that he doesn't look like well, I don't know. I thought 22-ish. I just checked into it last night. I watched one of his dad's interviews, and his dad didn't seem like they had a great idea of anything. But his dad seemed to be pleased with the effort they were getting from law enforcement. So it seemed like there was a good relationship with law enforcement. But, it would seem like to me there'd have to be some camera footage in this case. You know there is. He was at like an apartment complex. You know there's some cameras somewhere in that vicinity. It's not like he's way out in the middle of nowhere. I think that's there's got to be something, you would think. He didn't just disappear. What scares me though is the water, man. There's a lot of water right close to him, and anytime that's in the mix, seems like it a lot of times it turns out bad. Like that's what when Riley Strand was missing, that was the first thing I kept thinking was all that water, man. Saw on another channel that the area wasn't safe, a lot of crime. Yeah, but what are they going to do to him? They're going to, I just can't. It's odd to me they haven't recovered him. If it's just some random crime, I'm assuming the area's been searched. Have you heard, Brandy?
What?
About, huh?
Are you dealing around?
Oh, no, we're talking about the other kid.
Who? The one that the one we were talking about last night?
Yeah.
Oh,
Caleb Harris is his name. The one that stepped out for DoorDash and ain't been seen since.
I don't think he ran off. I think something happened to him. They interviewed the DoorDash.
Did they?
Yeah, they don't have nothing to do with it. It was a lady, and she didn't see anything either.
Well, she left the food. The food was left at the door.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. She didn't see anything when she was there.
There is a Reddit post, someone said, a dating site. Did you hear there's another video near the detention center of Riley? I know I've heard in Riley's case that they sent out to do another autopsy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. I think they already came back.
The second? I know the toxicology results, they're saying takes a while.
Yeah, I think the autopsy basically.
So do you think he witnessed a drug dealer or was robbed?
Something's weird. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just, my thing is, so what effort did they put into hiding him if it was just something like that? I
think it's weird how he would drown in that. Like the water is not even that deep on the shore if he fell in.
It looks like Caleb seen something possibly in the parking lot. People kidnapped him. The apartments are next to the Navy base, which is not a good area.
Are you talking about? Who are you talking?
Caleb Harris.
Oh. Maybe he's seen an alien ship or he got abducted by it.
She's not being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Brandy means maybe he got abducted by an alien.
Yeah.
Unless y'all got something better. You think it was an alien, Brandy? Brandy says alien. I don't know.
You think they send him a clone back in his place to act like him? No, I am joking about that.
No, you're not. I don't know, man. I can't figure out what it would be. It just seems like to me, a lot of people say robbery, but I mean, if you're going to rob him and then you're going to...
What did he have on?
That's what I'm thinking. His Uber Eats was probably on his card and the tip and everything. So and his wallet was at the house, so he didn't have... Exactly.
Weird. I'll look at the people he is living with, my opinion.
Well, they say they've looked at him. Like, dude, it's been cleared pretty much. The roommate?
Mm-hmm. All things weird.
Now they didn't report it till 11 the next day when they say they found the DoorDash. But I've been young and had roommates, and I think they wouldn't have reported me for days probably, because you just never know when it's everybody goes out that night who's going to end up where, right? Mm-hmm. We didn't, and back then we didn't have cell phones, so you couldn't just keep in touch as easy. Did they find his phone? His phone was there, right?
I thought they found a picture on his phone near somewhere there.
I thought he sent it on Snapchat. We need an expert on the case. I don't think it said. $3:20 is when the Uber driver delivered his order. Leaves it outside near the front door per his request. See? Now that makes me wonder if why was he even outside then? I don't get why he would even been outside if he had told him to leave his food at the door. One of his roommates discovers the Uber Eats order outside the front door. He notices Caleb's pickup truck is parked right out front, and Caleb's wallet and keys are left behind. His roommate starts to look for Caleb and call the police to report him missing. Now, I don't think they have found his phone. Because I think that's why a lot of the timeline talks about when his phone went dead, I think. Someone might follow DoorDasher to watch and then rob him. I don't know. Is that a thing? With everything electronic nowadays, it just don't seem like to me you'd make a bunch of money robbing people. I might get some cards, but I don't know. It just seems like an odd thing. I would rob the Uber driver. Right? I mean, they probably do have cash, because if they get a added tip, they want change. Might need change. Who knows? I don't know why you'd get dude, because he's already paid for that shit with his card, I guarantee you. So it doesn't make sense. I don't get the robbery aspect, but it makes saying that they left it for him outside per his request. I don't know why he was outside running around if he had food on the way. Then that don't make sense to me. Well, his parents must have requested a more advanced toxicology report, because that's where other drugs will show up. I know they said the toxicology report was going to be a while, like 4 or 6 weeks more or something, I want to say at least. I think maybe Nancy Grace or Vinny had a story about Caleb. Someone did. I can't believe he's been missing that long. Like I said, I think I seen something a while back. Hi, Wicked West Paranormal. My monkey number 10, J. Brad, Gene Jackson, Lake Superior Girl, J. Brad. It's wild stuff, man. I can't figure out what happened to him.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like the 2 moms that are going missing, that's weird too.
See, I meant to look to see if there's any updates on that. I didn't get around to it. There's Caleb Harris's dad. He was in the interview I was watching, and I tell you, he didn't give me a good feeling that they had a lot of evidence.
I don't think they do.
I need to leave. I'll be right back. Take over.
Ah. I'm not camera ready.
Oh, I got the filter set to Justin today.
Not really.
Yeah. Your camera ready. It made me look, I'm in here looking like I'm 20 again. Everybody in chat's been like, who's that young man? It's me. There's a picture of young Caleb.
Oh man, that was weird too.
See, that's the map they had with it. I think they lived right around here. I want to say the red dot is that apartment complex. And the water's over there. Who knows? Maybe he did get robbed. Somebody took him over to the water, try to dispose of him. Seems like an odd situation, though, to me.
Wonder if he had any obsessed exes or anything like that.
You think maybe one of the crazy exes got him? Never know, or got somebody to get him. He seemed like a pretty decent looking dude. He probably had some women. There was something I seen this morning on the two moms. I'll share it with the group. I watched a channel yesterday, and Caleb and the other missing men all had one common connection, was they all loved fishing.
Wow. Hey, Caleb and who? Riley?
They're saying there's a lot of other people in that area that's gone missing.
What do you want?
So freaking weird. I think with the two missing women, from the vibe I've gotten, I think the other family, whoever was given custody of, or, they were sharing custody with, I think somebody from that family has done something. I live in Oklahoma. Oh. You're on scene then, ain't you? What's the local vibe in Oklahoma about the two missing ladies? What do y'all think? Hashtag find Elijah Vu. Yeah. They were searching. Why Avery's junkyard, I don't get, but that's where they were searching. I told you that, Brandy, didn't I? That still wigs me out about him. I think I got the picture of the two ladies missing too. Where are they at? Let me find them. It's Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. Those are the two missing from Oklahoma. Going to get custody. One of them was the preacher's wife, who apparently was there as like a supervisor for the mom, right?
I don't know, but maybe. They haven't really said.
But it's not like they were friends or family or anything. It had something to do with the custody visit. I understood that. Yeah. Anyway, that's how they came to be together.
Yeah.
They found the car. Rumor is there was blood in the car. I don't know if that's 100% proven or not.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
To me, it's hard because there the car was found was right over the Oklahoma-Kansas line. Man, it's
That was a setup.
that's what I feel like too. It
Oh,
was a
it's
setup.
random. Nobody's gonna kidnap two women. Probably.
You would think it really. I mean, you would think the odds that have to have something to do with the custody situation has to be just astronomical. Because I mean, two just random women out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, they were saying they're not searching a lot either. I think they know something more. They're not searching there for them like they know maybe kind of like the.
Like they got the lowdown.
Yeah.
Rock Chalk YouTuber has been boots on the ground searching for the two women. They have been followed and found a tracker on their vehicle. Was there? So I don't know if it happened in Oklahoma or Kansas. I thought it was Oklahoma. Yeah, I don't know.
It was Texas County, Oklahoma, or something.
They're saying the Oklahoma-Kansas line.
Maybe.
Wow, a tracker. See, the tracker kind of opens it up more then to me. It seems odd that the people setting it up would have put a tracker on and left it behind. That would be really dumb. If that's true, if there's a tracker on that thing, that might be what gets somebody popped. Hi, October Skies. Welcome. Talking about the two ladies from Oklahoma right now. What do y'all think? I think it opens it up. The tracker almost feels more like a stalker than a custody situation. Who knows? Maybe the mother had somebody after her and the other lady just happened to get caught up in it. You have an email. If my brother-in-law who lives up there, I can get you info if he's the fire chief up there. Yeah, it's John Davis True Crime at yahoo.com. The tracker is on the YouTuber's car, right? What? I thought they were saying there was a tracker found on their car. Whose car were they in again? The younger woman or the preacher's wife? You know, that's a good question. I assumed it was the younger mother's. I am not 100% on that. Or is it the ex or ex-mother-in-law? See, they say the ex, the one with the kids, they say he is in rehab and was when they went missing. That's what I heard on that. Oh, check this out. I got a clip about this, kinda. Where's it at? Yeah.
Hi, I saw you in there, but she was talking. I couldn't say hi to you personally, so it's nice to hear from you. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well.
What's today's topic? I just got here.
Well, I hadn't quite got into it yet. The phone started ringing. So we're going to be going over Madeline Soto, but we just went over there. You know, there's not a whole lot to see there. And then we got the two ladies from Kansas, and I was going to show everybody the new Facebook page and just go over some information about the beautiful ladies over in Kansas and Oklahoma that has some foul play associated with it.
I just seen that today. Where they found the car, the husband of one of them found the car.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it's weird stuff.
But see, the thing is with them is I heard rumors that the windows or a window was busted out and that there was blood around the car or in the car. It was a little hazy on that, but it sounds like that might be true.
Yeah, I was hearing I guess it would have been the ex of one of the ladies who they were going to pick up the kids was struggling, and he was getting ready to go into rehab or something. Did you hear that?
He's in rehab. According to his grandmother, he's been in rehab since March 22nd.
Oh, okay. So he was in rehab when this happened.
Yep.
But there's kind of sore feelings between her and the in-laws though too, right?
It's not just him. It's his brother and his mom's boyfriend.
Oh.
So
okay.
I think no matter how you look at it, this is what I think's going on. I think law enforcement has a good handle on exactly who did this or who they think did this because they're being ultra tight-lipped. They're having the family be ultra tight-lipped. and they're not asking for the public's help. They're not asking for really anything, and actually just lifted the school lockdowns because they don't believe that there's any danger to the immediate public, that it was a targeted whatever it was.
Right. Okay, well, I'll let you get at it. I just want to call and say hi.
Well,
I don't want to hold
you
you up.
did. I'm glad you did. It's nice to hear you.
Okay, we'll see you later.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, that was sweet. John Davis stopped by. John Davis, True Crime. Go check him out. I've heard about him for a really long time. We've been kind of bouncing between channels for several years now. So go hit him up.
Hit him up. BHB give you the lowdown. See, I just heard about that case, and I seen her live stream, and I was like, I bet you if I call, I won't get through. And I'd be damn, man. I called, and it was like, Born Betty, what's up? I was like, shit. That's why I wasn't real prepared. I was kind of shocked I got through to the BHB hotline. But she was saying the brother and mom's boyfriend are suspect. So that'd be grandma to the kids that are the custody situation. That'd be her grandma's boyfriend and uncle so-and-so. Right? Yeah. Some people don't like BHB. She's cool by me, man. I respect the hustle, the information. I don't know. I thought it was good, though, that cleared that up. Because, see, at that time, I thought the dad was in play, but apparently he was in rehab. So if he's in rehab, pretty hard to go out and kidnap two women. And these women, they're missing. For all we know, they could be somewhere right now, Now, somebody was like, well, how do you control two people? I was like, well, duh. With a firearm, more than likely, YouTubers had a black SUV with blackout windows following them, and they got the tag number, and it was registered to the ex-mother-in-law's boyfriend. Wow. That's like a movie. Ugh, I so wish they'd find Susan. There they are, man. Still missing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the one on the left's the mother and the one on the right's the preacher's wife. That's the way I understand it. Veronica Butler, Jillian Kelly. Is that right? I hadn't even talked about Sebastian today. Have I seen anything relevant? I don't think so. If y'all seen anything relevant on the Sebastian front? I've seen a lot of speculation, but it's hard to believe we're still looking for him too. There's a lot of people missing right now. Everywhere. This one right here is turning into be a big a head scratcher as any of them too. I don't think nobody expected this to go on this long and still not have any answers. Somebody was telling me there's actual footage of Proudfoot taking down flyers. Has anybody seen that, or has anybody else heard that? I saw that Chris Proudfoot may be cut from the same clothes as Dawn Wells. Just the combo with Chris Proudfoot and Narked. See, I don't know who Narked is. The abduction happened in a short time frame from the time Jillian spoke to her husband and from when the car was found. You know, a lot of people are like, well, it's weird that the husband found the car, but the husband knew the route they was traveling and apparently was on the side of the road. It wasn't, you know, a super hard thing to spot. And, you know, if you was guilty of something, you wouldn't be running straight to it. So I don't think, I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the custody issue. They're just a higher class whales, in my opinion. I tell you, you know, it's different. The circumstances between the two are different, but it seems like Proudfoot and the Proudfoots have done themselves no favors, man. And it's like stuff just keeps coming out. What I mean by that is there is info out there that Chris may have family members when he was younger, like Dawn. Hey, isn't is somebody taking a polygraph today? Is that what I heard? Remember we talked about that the other day? Seth taking one today? Not that I'm really interested, because I really don't think he has nothing to do with it about the results. It's just interesting that somebody was saying he's taken one. I agree on that. A lot of similarities to Summers' case. I think the biggest similarity is with the lack of evidence there seems to be. It's just like poof, they disappeared. I mean, I think we can come up with some assumptions of what happened there. I really think, like we've said quite a few times on Sebastian's case of late, you can rule out a lot of these things. And that's why I always thought Summers' case was like that too, because you ain't gonna never convince me a stranger wandered up on Ben Hill Road that day. You're never going to convince me of that. Even if it come out somebody got convicted in trial, you'd never convince me. I just cannot believe a stranger walks by all them dogs. And I cannot believe Sebastian walks out of a neighborhood like that and nobody got him on a doorbell camera or surveillance footage or nothing. Those are two things I'll never be able to understand. And until I'm proved wrong, I think they're very telling too. The fact that Sebastian none of his shoes are missing, I think is very telling about Sebastian didn't walk nowhere. It's just where I'm at with that, man. Now, I almost think there would have to be awesome evidence if it was a case of somebody would come and got Sebastian, as far as you'd have to see a car or something coming in and out, something, you know? Did they carry him? You know, that's my thing. It's the lack, it appears, of any suspects on camera. And I really am convinced that police is just trying to make Chris and Katie comfortable. I can't think that they're not suspect of them. Because if they're not a suspect, they have nothing. As far as we can tell, right? If the police really do not think that Chris and Katie have anything to do with it, what do they have? I'd love to know. Maybe something will unfold today. Like I told you, man, with them finding Dylan Rounds, things happen in groups. We might get some interesting information any second. Something might pop off on one of these big. I really still have high hopes for Sebastian. As much effort as they're putting into the searching and stuff, I have high hopes that he may be still found. You know, I'm really, you know, now in Summer Wells' case, as long as she's been missing, when it keeps going, the longer it gets, it really seems like the chances just get really bad that it becomes a super cold case one day. I've talked about before the Springfield Three. If you don't know about it, it's these three women that went. Well, it was a mom and a mom, her young daughter, and her daughter's best friend. These three been missing for 30, 40 years now. Not a single, nothing has been found of them. Three women. Springfield 3. If you've never heard of it, go check it out. Look up to it. I might just do one show dedicated to that one day because it is such a mind boggler. And it goes to show it can happen to anybody. It's a really odd case. It's like the scene was their purses were lined up in a row. They had taken off their makeup and stuff and gotten ready for bed, and it appears like they just disappeared. Did you hear the sheriff's call on February 26th, the day Sebastian is missing? Law enforcement went through the subdivision looking for video and searching for him. There's no video of Sebastian outside the house. That's my understanding too. That's why I'm saying looks so damn suspicious. In Summer's case, I still believe Summer was behind the car and got accidentally by Candace or H, and Summer screamed. That's where Jody Sue heard the scream and Candace panicked. I have followed the Springfield case. It's wild. There was rumors they buried under a hospital garage parking lot, all kinds of stuff. If you haven't heard about it, check into it. It's wild. Guys, that's all I got today. I'm at my hour. We'll be back tomorrow morning. I don't know what we're going to talk about tomorrow morning. I'll keep a check on everything we talked about today. And if there's any updates, we'll talk about them tomorrow. But if not, we'll find something else. Angela and gave house numbers of where they made contact. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, 9 a.m. Right off the rip.